What's up, guys? Something a lot of y'all been waiting for, getting her back on the road. We got our 21 back on the bench. I thought I was out of gas. Well, then I just happened to turn my machine off and left the bottle open. I could hear it leaking. So I had a leak in my hose from the bottle to the machine. Well, then, he hauled around, finally got that. And then once I got it here, it still didn't fix the issue. And then I discovered my hose from my torch hose from the machine to the torch was kinked and also had a hole. I guess the shit broke down. So we're back on par, starting to weld this back up. And what we got is we're welding our feedbox mech into place. We got our semi-auto shelf on there. Trying to do this pretty because it's pretty ugly. If you remember right, this was at an odd angle. One thing I'm having to do is weld a little bit. Take my carrier, drop it in, and make sure she drops into place. All right, and then another thing, getting your feed box located, we got to make sure our feeder mech is right. So you need to tack it on and then do this. I'm already past that, but that is what it is. So our feeder mech drops right in. And then what you want to see is find something to point with. You got that little bearing right there up in that raceway. You want to make sure it's catching it and not jumping. Trying to figure out how we can get this. You can see there, it's pretty good. If you get it too tight, it'll bind up back here. If you get it too loose, it'll jump back here. So you got to get, I did a tack here, and then up in the front, and got it right. So that's our feed box, and then I'm just going to go through, and it's probably more welding than it needs, but get all the welding on, get it welded in place, and then we'll move on. So that's where I'm at on the 21, and you want to make sure to get that right, because if you don't have that right and you go welding it on, life is going to suck. So you can see I could probably put a feeler gauge under there. I don't have one here, but there's a little bit of space right there, and it just rides in that right there. And all that does is it advances your next round. So once you have that, get all this welded on, make sure it's good, because right now I'm sticking a little bit back on the back right there, on the back side of this weld. So we'll get all that welded up, and then we'll move on to the shroud.